The Slaughterhouse. Sounds suitably violent for this week's weekly challenge. Let's see what's in store. Fuse box, get the loot, and get out. Okay, let's bring Hilltop Maggie's Boo. Yeah, the Ruby Reaper, please. Maggie, I'll put her as the leader. She is the star hero after all. Daryl's coming along because he's great now. If I want to get those seasonal event tokens, he's in there. And Glenn, of course, well, we all know what he can do. He's perfect when you're in these kinds of search for loot missions. We're just going to take a look and see what the Slaughterhouse has got in store for us. So this I remember this one being a lot of fun because you can muck around with that door. Let's get some kills first. I know that I'm making a lot of noise. And let's stop that guy from getting to us by closing that door. It's another joy of bringing Glenn along. You can have that door however you want it. Have him change it. Lock those walkers out, Five Nights at Freddy style. And still be able to do something. So he's definitely a top pick for this mission. There's a threat counter. We've been making some noise. There's no doubt about that. Not too much of a problem that we're getting some extra walkers right now, but later on in later runs, you really might want to think about doing things all quiet. Or giving your characters weapons which will reduce the threat. It's always handy when that happens. Yes, please, give me some XP. I desperately need XP. Upgrading my guys and my weapons to the next level. I can't have enough. Okay, so that one's pretty cool. I like that you have that little thing of being able to control those doors. Love the way that gives you a bit more control over the mission. It's a favourite of mine, definitely. But I would certainly suggest bringing Glenn along so you can muck around with the door and still be able to do stuff. Loads and loads of rewards. Shelves, get the loot. I guess we're using the same team then. Maybe I should give Maggie something that can ignite targets. Oh, I don't know. Oh, this one's a classic. I mean, this one comes up in at least one other set. Kaboom. Used to keeping everybody cuddled together because I'm used to using Connie. Now I could search that, but it's glowing red. So that means something bad happens. So better be ready to deal with whatever comes out. You've got a threat counter. It ticks over pretty quickly on higher difficulties, and you're going to have some tough enemies to deal with as well. Keeping it quiet or reducing threat is a good idea. It's another one where Glenn is a bit of a star. And it's tough. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you search that last shelf, the one in the middle at the top, it's the start of the turn. So everybody has their actions left. Otherwise, a big scary walker marches out at you and you can't really do anything. Or you could use Glenn, have your other guys on the bottom of the map where you escape, have him search it, and then you can just flee. Because the whole object is that you search those shelves, not that you kill everything. So if you can use distractions like flares, Walker's Mask, Walker Mike, maybe characters like Beta, Huntsman, Daryl, they might be useful in letting you just slide by those walkers and get to your objective. Find the loot and get out again. Yes, Maggie and Glenn are staying together. Okay. This one's tough. You're just so crammed together. And there's a threat counter. And every single flipping turn, you can guarantee something's going to come out. So, if you have tactical on your armor, that's a huge deal. Because you could make a shot, and you're going to be in range. Every walker that comes in is going to be in range of everybody. You could make a shot and then still be able to search a crate. That's really, really handy to do. Glenn, of course, you can see how useful he is. I don't know if you can spawn block. I'm going to quickly check something. Let's see if we can actually spawn block where those walkers are coming out from. I've never considered doing that before. Let's go back to that mission and just see if that is a possibility. Back to missions. It's just something I just thought of. There's sometimes missions where the walkers run out. You know, they can't spawn anymore. Or you can get round to where they come out and you can just block that. I mean, where are they coming out from? I don't think it's the right shape. We might be able to put people here. Will that stop them? No. Let's try going here. Probably still going to be able to get out. Yes, they just go past your guys. They just get out straight through them. I wonder if there's any kind of limit. How about we do 10 turns from now? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they're just going to keep on coming out, to be fair. 7. That's 8. 9. Yeah, and if they do just... Yeah, I mean, they're just going to keep on coming, aren't they? So there's no real limit to the walkers. They're just going to keep on coming, and you can't spawn block them. So that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a huge problem. Whether you use melee or ranged, I think either's kind of viable. I think Glenn's got to be in there. I didn't see any special walkers, so Hilltop Maggie, not really making the most of her leadership trait there. Anything that has an area of effect, like Beth, Magna, Tyrese, you know, you're going to be hitting everything, because that's just such a small map. Hey, at least you know whether you've succeeded or failed quickly. Killing zone, make your way to the exit. Glenn might actually be surplus to requirements here. How about we bring in a stone cold killer? Yeah. So I think this is one of those ones where we just walk basically to the exit. Looks like we've got a threat counter. Beautiful. Oh, it didn't cause a lot of damage. So this is fairly easy early on, obviously, but you can see that it's gonna get a lot more difficult. I think keeping it quiet is a good idea, so you're just not bringing in more reinforcements. Obviously, on the much higher levels, you're gonna have a lot of much tougher, unique walker types, which has the advantage of making Hilltop Maggie's leadership trait a bit more useful, but it does make things tougher. Definitely suggest keeping that quiet. You can just take things you know, one at a time. You've got quite a big space there. Setting things alight, you can have plenty of time for that to work, for the walkers to burn. Or you could just try and rush through. Pick 3 shooters, 3 scouts, throw out a flare, and just sprint past everything. It's an option, something to try. Open the door and make your way into the slaughterhouse. Now this might be one of those ones where Glenn again can shine. Let's do that. Looks like we've got some tanks and armored walkers. Oh, it's this one, it's this one, it's this one. Okay. So Glenn, I don't think is actually as useful. Yeah, that takes 3 turns. So what we could do is have Maggie, Connie, or Connie on the team and have a ranged person opening that door. They'll still be able to turn around and shoot. Sorry. Have Yumiko on the team, have a ranged person opening the door. That person will still turn around and shoot at the target Yumiko is shooting at. Or you can have Connie opening the door. She can't do anything, but she will still impart her better together trait. It's just a way of having it so that the character who's opening the door isn't essentially completely useless while they're doing it. They're not completely helpless. Glenn doesn't help that much because it takes more than 1 turn to open that door, so yeah, no good. Ooh, no, can't reach. Once you got that door open, there's some scary stuff waiting for you, but this stops pumping out walkers. So the sooner you can get that door open, the more you just have to worry about what's on the screen and what you might bring in because of that threat counter. While you're opening that door, you've got to be able to defend yourselves. Again, characters like Connie or having Yumiko on the team and having a ranged person opening the door means that you're getting a bit more value than you otherwise would, because the person who's opening the door is not completely helpless towards helping the team achieve their goal. Slowing those walkers down as they approach you when you're opening the door. So using things like cripple and ensnare, anything that you've got can do that. That's good. Or those debuff circles that Tyrese pumps out. Pretty handy. Oh, fish in a barrel. Everyone's favorite. This is just one of those ones where I will just outright say I am not crazy about this mission. I think it's very dependent on your characters and your gear. And not everything in this game is. Obviously having the right stuff to be able to use is a massive help. But this is one of the few times where I would sort of say, yeah, what you're actually packing is probably as important as how you go about this. I mean, what can I say? There's not an awful lot of tricks that you could do. I mean, throwing a stun grenade in there would be massively effective. That's for sure. Having weapons that have any kind of arc or blast, well, you're going to hit everything that's in there. I mean, Mercer's a good choice. I mean, if you're going to have Hilltop Maggie as the lead, Hilltop Maggie, Yumiko, Mercer might be the best thing that you could possibly use. But later on, you might well find yourself using flares, piles of guts, Whisperer's Mask, things like that to distract the walkers, because you are within striking range at the very start. You have to at least mow down some of them and slow down the rest. Otherwise, you are in trouble when you're shooting fish in a barrel. Oh, I like that tally. I like that score that we've got down at the bottom of the screen. How very heavy metal. And are we back at the start? Yes we are. Okay, So there you go, that's the Slaughterhouse. It's an interesting mix of missions. Most of them are actually pretty snappy and quick. Glenn seems to be the hero for a lot of them. If you've got any advice on how to take any of these missions, it'd be wonderful to hear that. And if you do have any dramas, just reach out and somebody will be able to help. That's the Slaughterhouse. Good luck to you and your guild in getting an amazing score, and I will catch you on the next video.